Did you know that LinkedIn has been around since 2003? That's a long time for gathering connections, getting new followers, for LinkedIn to introduce new features you weren't aware of. I use LinkedIn for personal branding and I use it for business as well. It's a great platform to get professional connections and networking. But it can be overwhelming, right? And I'm here to help you take control over LinkedIn, take control over notifications and your feed. In order to take control over notifications, you need to know there are 3 types of notifications. You have the in-app and on the website notifications, you have push notifications, and then you have email notifications. I'm going to focus on the first one, the in-app and web notifications, because they control push notifications and mail notifications as well. So you go into Me, Settings, then you go to Communication. There you will find the first of 5 areas I want you to focus on. Number 1 is Connections. And there are a lot of settings here I want you to look at and reflect on. I'll leave actually most of these on, except for in-mail notifications. Seriously, I don't want notifications about nothing, because that's the challenge of today. You probably will get notification about something you already have been notified about in the app. You don't need an email on that. And you've probably seen it in the feed as well. Turn it off. The second one is trending conversations. So what LinkedIn has introduced is tagging of topics, like Microsoft Teams. Super awesome, because you can find similar topics. The problem with this is when people get more than 50 likes and you have a conversation going, you get a notification about something you probably already have seen and liked and interacted with, that topic is trending for that connection. Turn it off. You don't need that kind of empty information. The next one, number 2, is network. Here is also a lot of information, and I turn a lot of them off, but I want to call out birthdays. Really, seriously, LinkedIn, do we really need birthday notifications on LinkedIn? That's something you do on Facebook, and I turned that off on Facebook as well. I really don't need that in LinkedIn. And then, just checking my notes here, activities for connections. So you get a notification when a connection does something. Maybe do a live recording, or maybe they posted something. You probably will see this regardless, and you don't need that extra notification. Number 3 is news. News in LinkedIn I deem worthless. Seriously, I follow the news I want to follow, and if it's important news, I bet one of my connections will post about it. I don't need LinkedIn to post news about something I may and probably not are interested in. Turn that off. The whole news notification section. Number 4 is your profile. This is the hard one, because this is about you, and you want to know when people are wanting to interact with you. But I actually turned off something here as well. I turned off when I show up in searches. Because let's face it, you will show up in searches. And it's not personal. It's just that you just show up because it's search for sales, or search for consultancy or architect, or that you're alive, I don't know. And just turn it off. You will be better off. And then this one is more harder, because I also turn off when I get new followers. It's great getting new followers, I love it, and I love growing my network, but I don't really need to get a notification every time someone follows me. This is not a new connection, I want to know about that. This is just those who want to follow me and listen to what I have to say on LinkedIn. Turn that off. And number 5, this is for cleaning up your feed. And this is where you go to your profile. Under articles and posts, you see you have connections and you have followers. So then you can go in and manage followers. Here you can go and unfollow, and I recommend that you take that hour or two or whatever, it depends on how many connections you have. You may have hundreds or maybe thousands of connections. That's great, but it's probably less than 100 or around 100 people that actually are interesting to you. So I'm not saying you're going to disconnect from these people. I'm just saying you want to unfollow them so you don't get them in your feed. This is how you make LinkedIn awesome again, because your feed gets more value now. Because you unfollowed all the people that maybe have moved on to a different job from when you connected to them. Maybe they're based in a total different area in the world, or you just wanted to stay in touch with them. So when you actually need to reach out to them, you can still talk to them and send them direct messages, but you don't need to see them in the feed all the time. So I do this. I went through and unfollowed a lot of people so that now my LinkedIn feed actually matters. Two things happened. You get more value of your feed, and the other thing is you actually see that the feed is empty, that you have actually looked through the feed and you have nothing more to do on LinkedIn and can move on. It's not like an ever-changing feed that you can always spend hours on. It actually gets limited, which means you spend less time in your app. There is another way I do this. So sometimes I get a notification or I see someone in the feed that I don't really need to see this information. Then I click on the dotted line next to that post and I go to unfollow. You can do this, and I recommend this to do this as a process. Set of time to go and remove those followers and follow people, and then have this as a process moving forward. And then I have a bonus. Actually, I have two bonus tips. Number one is you can actually go in to your profile. I'm going to show it to you here, so pay attention over here. How you can make sure follow is a default on your profile. So when you have thousands of connections, maybe you want to have follow as a default instead of everyone connecting with you. So you can set that as a default. So it's actually an extra step for people to actually connect with you. And those who really go through that extra step to connect with you, maybe they are more valuable connections. And the last bonus tip is the QR code. So if you're doing a presentation, maybe you're doing a sales presentation or a technical presentation, maybe you meet someone and want their contact information. You can use the QR code, you can scan it, and you can even post it on your slides, like I do here. And you find it actually next to search, you find it where you can scan it or show my own QR code. Pretty cool. Follow these tips and LinkedIn will get more valuable for you. And be conscious about notification. I believe that notification is the skill you need for the 2020s. The skill you need to be digital literate in the 2020s.